Hey guys, this is Sunny here, and welcome back to Destiny. It's been a while. But I definitely wanted to do a video, update you guys my thoughts on Shadowkeep, as well as specifically what we're going to cover in this video, my favorite loadouts in Shadowkeep. The meta has been pretty good right now. I think it's been very open. There's been a lot of diversity, I believe, aside from, of course, the Izanagi Wendigo loadout. But in this video, I just want to go over what I've been using since Shadowkeep and what I like, and just go over all the weapons that I use typically. The first one that I have on is my Gambit loadout, what I like to say, because being in every slot is a Gambit or Reckon and Obtain weapon. For my kinetic, I have the exit strategy with surrounded spec, my soul survivor with firing lane with major spec, and the delirium. This loadout is really good. I mostly use it for if I'm doing strikes and something like that. For Garden of Salvation, which is the newest raid, this loadout can pretty much take you to the end. Um, Traditionally, I would swap out Delirium with Wendigo for, of course, the final boss. But up until that point, I really like this loadout because to me, it has that classic D1 feel to it, where you have a heavy machine gun, you got a really good sniper, and you got like your favorite kinetic. I like it. It took me forever to get this Soul Survivor role, but I believe I got it on my second. I think it was not even Reckoning. I believe I was doing just Gambit Prime and I got it. And of course, it comes with Fire Line. This perk is amazing. A lot of content creators covered it. I know Sweatsicle, he went over how saying the sniper rifle is really good to have with this perk on it, and it is really good. As you can see, what it does is if you're standing next to some allies, you get a buff on precision damage, and it's pretty good. Like I tested it out on the final boss in Garden, and it felt kind of cool to do good enough damage and not use as Nagi's. I'm not saying that's a bad loadout right now, but I can get very bored of certain weapons really fast. So I really like this kind of weapon because it kind of switches things up a bit. Of course, fourth time the charm is amazing. If triple tap was here too, that would have been really good. But luckily I got fourth time the charm, and it's amazing. I don't have another boss spec, so I just put major on it. I wasn't very smart before Shadowkeep came out and dismantled my multiple mods to like make sure I have them. So I missed out on boss spec on it. All my other old weapons have boss spec, but that's fine though. Delirium, of course, Delirium is really good. It's fun fact, actually my favorite pinnacle weapon above all of them. There's just something about Delirium that I really like. Next up, another loadout I like using, believe it or not, is threat level, Nation of Beast, and I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna say Whisper for later. I'm gonna put Wendigo on. I love threat level. Threat level is my favorite shotgun in the game. Mine's rolled with. I have a bunch. I have a lot. I think you guys might have saw my second one in there. This is the one I got recently. Grave Robber Trench isn't bad at all. Like old school, of course. Grave Robber kind of meshes really well with Trench Barrel, being the whole you land a melee kill, you get ammo back, which procs Trench Barrel in the process. So, and I gave it backup mag just for like I believe like one additional bullet, but I don't think it really matters like that. But yeah, I love threat level. It's my favorite shotgun in the game, and I also pair with Nation of Beast, the creator role, and I put boss spec on mines. Once again, this is where all my boss spec mods went to, is like old weapons. The creator role comes with Dragonfly and Outlaw, so a kind of successor to Fatebringer, but not as nothing could top Fatebringer. I love Nation of Beasts. It's definitely my favorite hand cannon. I have, as you say, I got a lot of kills. I actually have two. The one on my Titan has about 3K kills, and I believe the one on my Warlock has about 8. I love Nation of Beasts. It's amazing. Of course, some people might say, what about Kindled Orchid? Kindled Orchid would be a good hand cannon as well for this slot, or of course Recluse too. But like I said, we're just going over builds that I personally feel I think are really good, just to like change up the chemistry a little bit. Nation of Beasts, Firefly, Dragonfly is really cool. You could also put Dragonfly spec on it, which I do have, but I just don't want to get rid of my boss spec on this hand cannon just yet. On my warlocks, I do believe I put on dragonfly spec, and there's a, you know, that it does a little bit more damage, but I don't really know the numbers like that. And then underneath, of course, for the heavy, I have the Wendigo. Let me lock that because I feel like I might delete it on accident or something. Oh, I actually just pulled this from my collections and brought it up, so I didn't even put a mod on it or anything, or even a shader. You guys actually get to watch me put a shader on it really quick. That is if I have gloss. Oh, okay, there we go. That's probably like my favorite skin to put on the Vanguard weapons. Yeah, we'll just put major spec on. No big deal. But yeah, Wendigo is really cool. It got a lot of praise going into Shadowkeep, as well as during the reign of grenade launchers during Season of Opulence. I got mine in Shadowkeep though, so I wasn't able to enjoy it as much when it was prominent then. But it's still really good here. Like grenade launchers are in such a good spot, and being that it's just as good without having, you know, spike grenades on it is really, really cool. I like it. It's a really good heavy. So another loadout I personally like to use is, I call this the OG. Being it's just classic weapons. You got the Midnight Coup, Ikelos, and Whisper. Unfortunately, I don't have Whisper Breezing a lot just yet because I'm too lazy and I keep forgetting to go back into the heroic, which I should do today because I have nothing but free time. Hence why I'm doing this video now. But I love the OG loadout. This is typically used. I use this for, believe it or not, if I'm running Scourge, a little bit of Last Wish and Strike sometimes, or I just put it on when, you know, I just want to have like those throwback kind of moments. It's such a good. It's really a really good loadout because, you know, Midnight Coup's possibly it's still one of the best hand cannons. A lot of people might say, well, you know, you can't put new mods on it, and that's very true. But there's just something about, you know, Midnight Coup that I really, really like. It's one of those hand cannons. It just has just really good hand cannon perks. Like, I believe, you know, being that, of course, these are older weapons and everything that was given to them, but it just, you know, Outlaw Rampage. It's so simple. You just can't beat it. I don't really mess with the barrel perks too much, because, you know, it is what it is. Now, for my Ikelos, I love Ikelos. It's still one of the best shotguns in the game. I remember farming for it non-stop. I love it. It's great. It's cool. I have too many of them. This is actually my original one. I messed up and thought, like, if I put, you know, a Crucible Masterwork on it, it would give it, like, better perks, but all I got was reload speed. But I'm pretty sure if I would have put, you know, just normal kill tracker, I would probably have at least 10k kills on this Ikelos. But this is my original Ikelos shotgun. This is the very first one I got. I love it. It's my baby. It's not, done me wrong. And then, of course, you got Whisper, which is really cool. Like I said, the OG loadout is really cool. Now, another loadout I've been tinkering around with that I like is Randy's throwing knife, and I'll put on, you know, let's put on Hammerhead, for example, and then Divinity. This loadout I like. I typically only use this if I'm running, for example, the Nightfall, or sometimes during the last boss fight in Garden of Salvation. The reason I use Randy's in my kinetic, and I have backup mag on mine, which is really silly. For those wondering, a better mod might be anything but backup mag, because it only gives you one additional bullet. But to me, I'm like, hey, that one bullet might matter somewhere. The reason I like Randy's throwing knife for my Divinity build, especially for Garden of Salvation, is it's really good for taking out the Cyclopses that spawn up top without me having to dip into my heavy or my special. Not that I think Divinity will reset fire. I'm pretty sure it would, but it wouldn't kill the Cyclopses as fast. But I really like this for the Cyclopses, for the Goblins. It's pretty solid. In PvP, well, I'm not going to go into PvP as much, but it's okay in PvP, but I really, really like it in PvE for some reason. Divinity is the Garden of Salvation raid exotic. I'm not going to go into how to get it. There's like so many videos on how to get it, but what it does is it adds a debuff to enemies. I would typically call this build, maybe not this build, but this loadout my support loadout, for if I'm wanting to just do support, because Divinity is a support exotic. It debuffs enemies while your team on the back end does all the damage. And I can pretty much pair with any heavy, but I put on my Hammerhead because Hammerhead's actually pretty cool. I like the role that I got. Surrounded, Feed and Frenzy, and of course I put on Surrounded spec because why not? Hammerhead is is definitely the second, in my opinion, second best LMG. For some reason, I take Delirium over Hammerhead, hence the kills. I really only use it. But yeah, I really, really like this. For those who, like I mentioned, I would typically use this during the last encounter of Garden or, support. Now we're going to go to what I like to call just the A1 loadout, because this is it's classic. You can't really beat it, and that is the Mountaintop with the Recluse and the Wendigo. I love my Mountaintop so much. It's definitely one of my biggest accomplishments in the game, I believe. I got mine's pre-nerf to the quest, so hence why it's one of my favorite accomplishments in the game. I typically can use this loadout anywhere, like any encounter I can really think of in a raid, especially Crown. Scratch that. This is the kind of loadout I would take into Crown of Sorrow with no issues. There's just something about Crown that was so grenade launcher friendly. Being that Galron's body is just one big weak spot, so you can just hit him anywhere with grenade launchers and it'd be amazing. I have a Swarm of the Raven, but I didn't, level it up like that, and, Wendigo is really good. So this loadout will be typically good for just all raid encounters, just strikes if you're just cooling it. You just want to get things done, you just want to blast and shoot. Everyone knows what Recluse is. I really feel as though I have to go Recluse. On mine I have anti-barrier rounds, of course, so, pretty straightforward. I think you guys already saw a major spec. Like I said, it's a really just simple loadout. Like I said, if I'm doing Crown of Sorrow, I can rock this. I really wouldn't use this for Scourge. I really don't like using grenade launchers on the final boss for Scourge. It just feels wonky. He's a very sniper-friendly boss, and I enjoy that. Another loadout, of course, everyone knows this is pretty much the meta right now. Izanagi's, Recluse, Wendigo. You can honestly use this 24/7. You can use it on any boss. Maybe, maybe not, but you could probably use it on Riven if you're not, doing the cheese method, if you're not trying to melt her as fast. I want to say some people are out there trying to do her legit. This would be pretty good, just sniper in the mouth for a couple rounds, switch to something else. You can definitely use these to shoot the warts on her, so definitely wouldn't have an issue there. This is probably... I would recommend this loadout for players, new and old, who just want something solid, just want something encounter-friendly, strikes, whatever. It's not that bad at all. Like, I like a lot of big people I use, and I know Error, another content creator I love, he was just gushing about how good this is. It's really good. And then aside from that, if we want to just go over like maybe some stuff I wish to try out at some point. I never use my Chattering Bone. Maybe at one point I would like to use Chattering Bone, Ikelos, and then 1K. I feel like I would call this the last... I want to give it like a cool name. I just can't give it a cool name because being it's themed around, Last Wish, Awoken weapons. I guess I would call this the Awoken. If it's funny though, because I guess if Bungie never, adjusted the weapon loadout system and it stayed the same with 2 primaries, I feel as though this might be something. I really feel like this would be a really creative loadout. I feel like I would use this in Gambit just for shits and giggles, just to play around with. Especially being I got lucky and got the created rolls of both weapons and of course 1K. So I feel like I might experiment with this to see what happens. But yeah, what I want to do at some point, just go over weapon loadouts on my other 2 characters. I'm not really into builds right now, armor wise. I keep things really simple. If I were to go over to my armor, Peregrine Greaves, I've been loving this. It's just I love just shoulder charging. But believe it or not, my favorite subclass on the Titan is actually Sentinel. So normally I'm running Ursa Furiosas and Middle Tree Sentinel. this is probably my favorite. I know Ursa's got, you know, nerfed a while back, but I don't know what it is. It's that military sentinel's my favorite super in the game. I like those support builds. I love those support classes. I love playing support because I feel as though not everyone wants to do it. So when you want to do it, those are like the best people. Like, wait, you don't want to focus on DPS as much? You just want to make sure you want to keep us alive? Like, yeah, like that's always been my thing. At some point, I really want to go over my other characters. I chose my Titan today because I feel like I don't give love to my Titan as much, but I felt like he deserves it. I really, really enjoy my Titan. But that was it for the video, guys. I just want to go over some weapons that I've been using, just show off some different chemistry. Another video I have in mind is targeted mostly towards newer players who, for example, can't quote unquote be able to get like the threat level. Let's say, for example, there was like, if they got rid of all the raids and stuff like that, well, I won't say that, but for players who will have difficulty getting around to the Ikelos and things like that, like what are weapons they can take into the raid that would be like a step under it but still do the job. I've been bouncing around with that idea for a while, but I just want to go over what I use, what makes me happy, like what encounters I use them in, you know, just to switch things up a bit. My thing is when it comes to my mind, I can get very bored with things really fast. So I like just something really different. Like, believe it or not, as soon as I got the Izanagi Recluse, you know, Mount Wendigo combo going for raids, after a week I was like, yeah, this is boring. Like, and then it's bad because that's all people ask for. And honestly, this video was gonna most likely be me saying like, hey, use threat level, because no one talks about it as much anymore. It's such a good shotgun. But, you know, there's just so many weapons out there. I'm curious to know what you guys like to use. So, I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely sub if you feel as though, you know, you want to keep up to date on my content. Definitely definitely drop a comment, like. I appreciate all of that. Definitely give me your feedback. Let me know what weapons you guys like to use. And I will see you Guardians out there in the wild. Peace.